Your income doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I are dealing with in your money, and it's called math. And none of those things I just mentioned give you a pass on math. And where people get themselves in trouble, including when I went broke many years ago because I was stupid, we get ourselves in trouble when we don't bother and do the math before we do the transaction. We're the stupid woman from San Diego who leased her dog for $5,400. We make $90,000 a year, and somehow in our brains figure out that our children deserve a $50,000 Honda SUV. And now we have to take the kids out of private school because we can't pay the payments on the SUV and the private school because we didn't do math. We're 21 years old, we buy a $10,000 car, run up $10,000 in credit card debt, and have $10,000 in medical bills and make $30,000 a year. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids.
Dave Ramsey, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for being here, man. New to the channel, man. Please, by all means, hit that subscribe button. I wanted to bring my show in based on an intro that I always bring my shows in on my other forums. Because what Dave Ramsey was just talking about was math, not necessarily adding up and everything. Math, meaning think, add things up in your mind, come up with an outcome, understanding a profitable, or should I say a positive outcome before you do the transaction. We're 3 kids, and we make $28,000 a year. $28,000 income with 3 kids. It's the reason why there was an emphasis on $28,000 a year with 3 incomes. I need y'all to follow me. Now, what I want to talk about today here on the 30th of November, 2020, it is Monday. I want to talk about wrong. And I want to talk about wrong because I'm not understanding what a lot of people have done in their life to think that what they was doing was going to add up to something else. You see, because what I see is a lot of leisure, and then there's supposed to be adult expectations coming from leisure situations. And then what people do is they come up with all these, and dang, everybody can't, and you expect everybody. No, I expect everybody to do the math before you do the transaction. Listen, let me tell you something. I worked at a drive-thru this year. 85% of the people who card declined had another card waiting. It's the reason why 85% of the people that card declined had another card waiting, because they knew they didn't have enough money on the card for that transaction. They knew it. So and I want to say this because this is what it gets down to. An hour is 60 minutes for me, just like it is for you. A week, 7 days for me, 7 days for you. A month, 30, and then sometimes 30 and 28 days for me, like it is for you. We're all here on the same time scale. But what's different is the right and wrongs that we do, aka things that we do, how we invest our time. So, I want to ask, and it is my questions that makes me the hated one. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Stop fucking with me. Don't be up fucking with me. Don't be up fucking with me. Don't be fucking with me here. People, at 51 years old, let me tell you what I see now. At 51 years old, I see a lot of people that still owe a debt to something that they done in their 20s. I very rarely see people paying for things that they've done in their teens. But, I see the majority of the issues that adults have at my age are things that they've done in their 20s. So allow me to break some perspectives down to you. When you're in your 20s, you're nothing but an old teenager. It is these people that leave their 20s and have this certain stability of maturity. Those individuals seems to transition into the next stages of their lives with no problem. It is those individuals that said, I'm grown, or, yo, man, I'm a grown man now. I do what I want. I'm a grown man, and all these things. And then they enter their 20s and they just stockpile mistakes. So let me help you understand Nerdmatic's perspective on life. I believe that from the ages of 1 to 20, that is the first quarter of your life. 1 through 20. 1 through 20 is the first quarter of your life. And then after the first quarter of your life, 1 through 20, you reach the second quarter of your life. The second quarter of your life is from 21 to 40. Now, I need y'all to follow me. If you come up with a different system, please, by all means, get at me. But I don't think there's a better system than this. So, second quarter, 21 through 40. Third quarter of your life, 41 through 60. Fourth quarter of your life, 61 through 80. People, if you make it past 80, your life is what I call overtime. It's a perspective that you do, that those series and phases and quarters of your life that you do, you want to be and use that time scale to have certain things to have yourself know if you're on track, where you need to make changes at, et cetera, et cetera. Right your wrongs. People from ages 1 through 20, you are getting your character, you are getting your likes, dislikes, your tone is being set, your temperament is being set, all those things, 1 through 20. Then there's the second quarter of your life, 21 through 40. Now, what you're doing through 21 through 40 is you're getting a feel for your upbringing, your character, your drive, et cetera, et cetera. 21 through 40 will show you how significant you are. The ages of 21 through 40 will expose all your weaknesses, and it pretty much is, honestly, hands down, it's probably the most important quarter of your life, 21 through 40. 40 through 41, at 41 years old, you should have been at least 8 years in a career. You should be now ready to know you should be at a job where you're invested. At 41 years old, you should now be maturing. Your maturity should kick into the point where you're now looking ahead. At 41 years old, now you're saying to yourself, I'm now about to transition into the fourth quarter, which is 61. So what you're now starting to do, you're really starting to pad your 401k. You're really starting to just pay more to investments. Your time should be worth more. You shouldn't make time for a lot of stuff. You shouldn't be doing experiments no more. You should be ironclad and know where you want to be at the age of 41. at the age of 60, although retirement is 65, it's not a bad idea to know that you've done so well in life. You can go ahead and shut it down at 61, 60, 61. Okay? So those are the quarters. So if I'm sitting here today on the 30th of November, 2020, and I'm saying, what are your wrongs in life? What will you say? Based on what I just said, what are your wrongs in life? If you stop and look back and say, what did I give me to? What did I give me to? Did I give myself, my quality worth self, my bad, I'm bad, man, I'm the man. What did you give yourself to? What is your wrong? What is your wrong? What did you do wrong in life? What did you do wrong? And how are you trying to right it? So allow me to give you a perspective on my wrongs. People, I will say this over and over and over again. And I will say this, there we go. I will say this over and over and over again. The unfortunate thing in my life that should have been the best thing that has happened to me, but let me say this, should have been the best thing that happened to me. I fought for 11 and a half years to be a father. That was the biggest wrong of my life. Now, a lot of you guys may sit back and say, man, you're supposed to, man, that's admirable. That's admiration. That's admirable of you. No. I understand women now differently. Women will always remove the goalpost. So it wasn't. In addition to that, when you fight to be a father, you show your children your worth. All right. When you fight to be a father, it's not a fight. When you're fighting to be a father, it's just the normal thing. It's not a fight. Y'all just arguing. When you fight to be a father, I now know that you're not fighting to be a father. You're arguing with the mother. And when you argue with the mother, the kid deems you as the bad parent because you and mommy arguing. But if the kid knows the reason why my daddy ain't around is because he ain't fighting my mom, because my mom want to fight, that changes the narrative. That changes the perspective in its entirety. I was wrong for doing that. But this is what I was going to say. My wrong was not in vain. It wasn't. My wrong was not in vain. I tell people I pimp my pain. That's what I've been doing all my life. I take my pain and I puts it to work. I take my pain and I put foots up in it. That's what I do. I'm not going to sit on the sideline and when you hear me talking and you may say, you may scratch, I may say something that may scratch your head. Cool. But what's not going to happen is I'm going to shut this camera off and then be in here. Oh, woe is me. My life. No, I got a great life. I got my pain out there saying, listen, after you finish that, there's a customer on 5th Street. Get me my money. That's what we doing over here. Or as She Kicks would say, over her. That's what she would say. I mean, what do you want? What are you going to do? Yeah, I may be in a doghouse for that, but what are you going to do? That was my wrong. I've done other wrongs. I'm just saying that's the wrong that I want to tell you guys about and give you a reason as to why that was wrong. And what did I do about my wrong? And here's the reason why I picked that wrong. Well, hell, I educate people on all my wrongs. What am I talking about? Yeah, I do that. I educate people on my wrongs. Here's the thing that I will never understand about individuals that have wrongs. So you was out there being a daddy Mac. Is that what you are? You were Daddy Mac. You was the miggity Mac. You was the miggity Mac. Is that what you was? Yeah, is that what you was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You the man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you good with the bitches? Yeah, you good with the bitches? Yeah, are you now? Are you now? Yeah. How many kids you got? How many child support cases you got? Mm-hmm. So if you so good with bitches and that is was your perspective, are you still on top of the game, or is the game on top of you? Of course, normally when the game is on top of you, yeah, you got some tingling in your booty hole. I'm laughing at something else. You got a serious case of tingle booty.
What's happening to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers? We'll talk about that on a Monday coming up.
Well, after lighting up the...
Yeah, you got a serious case of tingle, what I call a tingle booty hole. So instead of acknowledging that and telling individuals, you don't want to speak game on the wrong. You don't want to acknowledge your wrong to the point where you're now teaching the younger generation. You see what I'm doing over here? Or should I say, my baby would say, over here?
I have to say, it never gets old, Shannon.
Well, unfortunately, Skip, I didn't have the day Tyreek had.
I'm teaching. I'm showing everybody, I'm exposing all the potholes in the game. I went to law school. I educated myself. And it is now where I am seeing, or I'm catching the most flack.
Greatest day in Chiefs receiving history.
Is when I'm catching the most slack. And it was to my surprise in the beginning, I'm catching the most slack is individuals just don't want me to talk about the things that I talk about, or they try to change the narrative in my words. Oh, so what you're trying to say is, no, I ain't no trying to say. I said what I said. All right. So I'm educating people on my wrong. So now let me talk about the individuals that get offended, the women that get offended about what I'm talking about, but don't choose that they want to educate other young coming little hot whores on their wrong, little hot ass whores. You just want to just keep your mouth shut, knowing that you did wrong, and just okay, cool, okay. So allow me then. I'll take a stab at it. People, there's just no way on this planet you as a woman could say that it was your expectations to get married and have children dating a man that came out of prison. There's just no way. Because and if that was the case, what timeline were you on? What timeline? What was your timeline? There's just no expectations on having a husband, having children, buying a house, riding off into the sunset of retirement by being in a relationship with a man with no job. I'm not talking about I had a job when y'all met. I'm talking about I had a job right out the gate. There is no expectations of that. And if so, please, by all means, give me those expectations. Because if I say that your actions are that of a child, there's nothing adult about that, then what David Ramsey just said was, we don't bother to do the math before we do the transaction. What adults do you know do things without understanding the back end of what they're doing? Kids do. How many times you seen a little baby running out in the street? And you go, oh, whoa. I said, whoa. So if you could give an understanding of what it is you was trying to do, then please, by all means, leave the comments underneath the video, because you can't teach that. You can't. You can't teach data man in prison. You can't teach that. What kind of lessons? If you can't teach it, where's your lesson? Now, if you can, because we're talking about wrong. Once wrong is acknowledged, you now can teach the wrong about the act. Allow me to go left for a second. Just for a second. People, I was watching the video that I did earlier about black women. And I ain't gonna tell y'all, but don't tell nobody what I'm about to say. When I got up this morning, and I appreciate Miss She-Cakes for giving me a call. I had the phone on vibrate, but the bed was vibrating. I was like, what the hell? Oh. But, excuse me. I listened to Sister Shalakemia, and I started to cry. Don't tell nobody. I guess it's the little boy in me that want my mom to come around and so we can resume a relationship. But I want to just touch bases on that for a second. People, when you listen to me, you listen to somebody to have ample evidence on everything. I don't just say things just to be saying it. I can give you stats on things that I say. So when I tell you that if you've seen the movie Gemini Man with Will Smith, what Will Smith said in that movie is, my mom looked at and seen my dad every time she looked at me. That's the situation that's going on with my mother and I. But here's the deal. People, I'm the youngest one in my family. I'm going to speed this up because I don't drag it out. I'm the youngest one in my family. So as the youngest one in my family, I used to get beat up by all three of my brothers. When you got beat up by all three of your brothers, it makes you tough. In addition to getting beat up by all three of my brothers, it made me tough. And then when I was in high school, I stayed back in the 9th grade. My second year in 9th grade, I did it in special ed. I was in special ed for my second year in 9th grade and 3 semesters of 10th grade. They put me back in regular classes in my second year of 10th, last semester of the 10th grade, and I was in regular classes 11th and 12th. So part of the reason why I got out is because I was an honor roll student. I finally said enough of this, and I was an honor roll student the last year of my 9th grade year and all 3 semesters of 10th, that was honor roll, nonetheless. So they put me back. So now, because when I got put in special ed, the friends that was in regular classes with me, they laughed at me. I got a problem when people laugh at me. I'd rather you punch me in the face, do whatever, and just walk away. The problem that I have is when you laugh at me. Now, y'all heard me say Atia Bradley put me on child support and laughed at me when she did it. So let me make the connection for y'all. 16 years before that, I got laughed at. Therefore, when I got put back in regular classes, I didn't want to be with the regular students no more. You know why? Because the special ed students didn't laugh at me when I went back to regular classes. But when they laughed at me, they put me amongst people that laughed at me, that I felt that when somebody laughed at you, I just take it differently. Nonetheless, this is why I say to people that don't know, I'm going to keep my foot in the Tia Bradley's ass for the rest of her life. For that one laugh, you earned the burn. So, in fast forwarding in my story, going into the military helped me harness my strengths, which is I am extremely smart and I can control my anger thanks to my 3 brothers beating me up. I'm ready to put foots in you in a minute. So now fast forward in today, I'm not built because I've accepted about 4 or 5 incidences of this from my mom. It was just that this time I just had enough. I can't accept this from my mom. And what I am not going to be is one of those dudes that I see and heard seeing hundreds of men. I love you, mama. Why you treat me like this, mama? No, I'm saying to my mom. So I tried to love you like I was supposed to. I've done nothing wrong. Let you tell it I did. So instead of having animosity towards me, mother, you just gonna just hate me and constantly say things to me. And then when I went to my psychiatrist asked me a question this year. You know what last year. My psychiatrist said to me, do you look like your father? I said, exactly. She said, your mother got issues with you because you look like your father. I want to tell y'all that because I'm about to say something. Because what my sister told me was, hey, you know, your family drop in and listen to you from time to time. So to my family and my mom, y'all said by actions, fuck you. So let me be specific. Fuck all of y'all. I don't care nothing about you. That goes from my mother on down. I don't give 2 cents about you. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to keep loving people and loving and fight to be a father to my daughter for 11 and a half years. And everybody seen my fight. Everybody in my family knew my pain. And they're going to turn around and hate me too. You can call it dislike. You can call it what you want. I'm going to call it hate. But the difference between me is I told my baby, I don't have an animosity account. I don't have an animosity account on nobody. So I can't hold feelings. I can't put hateful feelings on hold. No, when they come, I got to give them to you when they come. So fuck all of y'all. I don't need y'all. And that's just the way it goes. I've done nothing wrong. I am where I'm at in my life because I've done everything right. And what I mean by everything, I don't mean I did everything perfect. What I'm simply saying is I am one of those individuals that is saying, hey, I'm glad I did, as opposed to being one of those individuals that's saying, damn, I wish I would have. I'm not a I wish I would have. I'm glad I did guy. And just like the sun is shining outside right now today, my life shines, even at 12 o'clock midnight. You know why? Because I don't find narratives for all the wrong that I've done in life. I filed for bankruptcy 16 times. I wrote a book about it. Now you may say, damn, you filed bankruptcy 16 times? Yeah, that was wrong.com. But I just bought a house this year, so something don't match, right? I have a 7-something credit score now, right? Yes, I did something right. So being that I did what I did, I wrote it in a book and told people about it. So that others can learn from it. So what I'm going to do, without further ado, is I just want to ask you a question. Where are your wrongs? Where are your wrongs? Do you got explanation for your wrongs? Do you got reasons for your wrongs? Are you trying to sell your wrongs as somebody off as something else? Are you sitting there trying to sell your wrongs off as, oh, you gotta understand? Well, it seemed like this at the time. And are you trying to mortgage off your wrongs? Are you now going to allow others? Are you now going to help others be wise? Because the thing goes like this. A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. I guess that's why there are a lot of women of color running around in the ghetto fucking with booty out niggas and no good niggas. Because a lot of you women, you don't have an organization, strong women. Let's deal with the issues. I mean, after all, this woman got attacked, Mr. Hawazat Ali. You don't have an organization saying, hey, look, I dated a man that ain't have no job. That was wrong. It was stupid. I was young and I was infatuated with niggas. You don't want to do that. You got 4 or 5 child support cases. Is that what you got? Yeah. You don't want to school individuals on your wrong. You just want to run around and keep your wrong on a hush hush. Oh boy, I had enough. Later, y'all. Y'all have a good one.